Bro, just listen to me really quickly. I want to help you win. I want to help you become that young man who's about it, who's not taking no for an answer, who's disciplined, who's winning in all areas of his life. And I want you to have a brotherhood of young men supporting you. So go check out the description or message me on Instagram. I want to tell you something about myself. I'm 5'8". I'm Indian and I grew up very poor. Now, listen to me when I say this, bro. I always thought for my whole life, I could never become a man. I thought, well, I'm not 6'5", I'm not genetically gifted, I'm brown, I'm all of this, right? Like, I can't become a man. And that crippled me as a boy. That crippled me, that hurt. And I used to get to these deep, dark places in my mind thinking like, whoa, like, what am I gonna do? And then it hit me, right? Oh, okay, well, come on, Chris. You're 13 years old. Relax, bro. Like, I knew I had cerebral ability to think, hey, you're 13, bro. Go do some dumb stuff. Don't worry about becoming a man. But then I thought, as I started to get older, okay, I'm 18, I'm 19, I'm 20, and here I was, abusing drugs, getting into trouble with the law, doing all this bad stuff. I'm like, okay, well, I'm getting older, a little bit of facial hair, you know, things are kind of happening in my life, got a girlfriend. Am I a man? By no means. And then I thought to myself, okay, well, as I get older, I'll step into manhood. I'll step into it. Like, it'll just happen. I'll hit a certain age, 25, 30, and it'll happen. I'm like, okay, I'm getting older. I'm like, okay, no. Nothing is, like, I don't feel like a man. I still kind of feel like a boy. I kind of feel like a kid. What's going on? Now, we're going to debunk this. Because I had this, like, boom, this aha moment in my life. And then I went on this rabbit hole of, you know, real, genuine, masculine role models. And thought, okay, what do these guys got to say about becoming a man? Because I needed to find my identity. I needed to figure out myself. And this is what we're going to talk about. You see, I want you to ask yourself this question, bro. Why do some boys not become men? I want you to try and answer that, because this is a very serious thing. Because we're growing up in a time now, and this world has changed. You know it has, bro. This world is different to what it was 100 years ago, 150 years ago, 200 years ago. This world is different. But look, the one thing that I want you to really understand is that our world now is allowing males like yourself, like myself, and every male roaming around this earth, bro, to pick and choose if they become a man or if they step into their later years in life, their late 20s, their 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, continuing and living the same way that they lived when they were 15, 20, 25, 30. Because, see, we're now growing up in a world that allows you to become a big boy. You can become an old boy, but you're not going to become a man. Because I want you to really understand this. And this is when that aha moment hit me and it all made sense. Because, like I said, right, our manhood, our masculinity is really earned on one thing. On it being earned, not given. And that's one thing that I heard, and I can't remember who said it. I'm like, wow, it hit me. Like, yes, I have to earn it, but it's not earning it from making all of this money, which money is very important. It's not from driving this car or dressing this certain way or talking this certain way. I mean, all of those things, you know, add up and they support your frame as a man, making money, talking a certain way, doing this, doing that with your life. But before I get into it deeper, I want to ask you, what do you think the clear decider is from becoming a boy to a man? Why do some boys not become men? Spew it out. What do you think it is? Because it's quite simple. There's a lot of things, but I do believe that the one thing we're going to speak about is the main thing that steps a boy, that allows a boy to become a man. Now, boys, and I'm going to say this, and this is where it might hit you in your feelings, bro. Boys primarily act on their feelings, where men and this is a really big thing, it's not that men don't feel things, but a man does what's right, not what he feels like doing. So I'm going to frame it like this. Does what's needed to be done. Now this is an important thing to understand because look, like I said, I always thought, well, I had every disadvantage to not ever become a man. I really did. And then it hit me when I finally realized that, okay, none of those things that I thought mattered. I'm not 6'5". Oh, one day, I'll just become a man because of my age. No, it's not none of those things. It's what you do with yourself, with the feelings that you have inside of you. Because we all know, as boys, what do? We get an urge to fap. We fap. We get a craving to eat some sugar. We eat some sugar. We get in our feelings that we just want to sit at home all day and play games and do nothing with our lives. You see, men as a whole understand that their feelings shouldn't hold bearing on what's needed to be done. And that's the deciding factor if you are stepping into your manhood, if you are a man or not, is are you running towards comfort? Are you conforming to what this modern world wants men, which is weak? Weak because, well, when you're a man that's fapping 10 times a day, when you're a man that's not a man of your word, when you're a man that primarily seeks comfort, when you're a man not taking risks, when you're a man not putting yourself out there, taking accountability, responsibility for your life. If you're a man not doing any of those things, then you are running and performing through your life as a boy. And I can guarantee if you don't start getting your act together and getting with the program of taking accountability, responsibility, running towards the things that you know that you need to do in your life, then you will not step into your prime manhood. Because I will lay it out for you. Being a man is not about feeling emotions. I can tell you, right? And you boys, a lot of yous know me. I have been through hell and back in my life. Growing up poor, in the ghetto. I was a drug addict. My father was an abusive alcoholic. One of my brothers to this day is a very bad drug addict. Like my life was hard. My life is still hard, bro. And I can tell you, I feel every emotion. I feel it all. I feel the same cravings, urges that you do. I feel the feelings of stopping, quitting, not doing what I know that I should do, but those feelings don't hold bearing. There's no weight in those feelings, and I run towards what I know that I need to do rather than what I feel like doing. And this is the thing. You need to ask yourself, are you doing what you know is right, or are you doing what you feel like doing? Because I'm going to say something. And I need you to really listen to me. As men, you know the right answer. You know what you're supposed to do. You know you're not meant to fap. You know you're not meant to waste all this time. You know you're not meant to be doing the drugs, sleeping with prostitutes. You know what you're meant to do, bro. Whatever you feel like doing is probably hindering you into being a man. And I really mean this. So you need to look at, and how I like this, right? And how I framed it, is a boy also primarily seeks easiness. So a boy will live an easy life. And I'm not saying an easy life doesn't come without struggles. An easy life always kind of makes you a little bit socially anxious. An easy life kind of makes you, will definitely make you broke. An easy life, you put on a whole bunch of pounds, weight. It's like an easy life isn't actually that easy, but you have different struggles. But a man, right, and I will say this, a man's life, he will primarily seek friction or hardness or things that are uncomfortable. Now, I'm not saying your whole life needs to be this complete uncomfortable scenario where you can't breathe, but there has to be that friction towards the growth. Because, well, when you're meant to do one thing, but you go do the right thing, you know that friction that you feel in the middle is growth. And that's you stepping into your masculinity, into your manhood. So you need to look at your life, evaluate. Is there a lot of comfort or is there a lot of friction? Are you acting upon your feelings or are you doing what you know that you need to do? Because I'll say this, I don't care how old you are. You could be an 18-year-old stepping into your frame early. I coach boys who are 18, 19 years old, and they're like, whoa. They're older than some boys that I've coached who are in their 40s, 50s. I've coached some old guys, bro, and I'm 26. I tell you this, you could be 18 stepping into your frame, or you could be 40 years old, or 30 years old, or 25 years old, and you could have every single demeanor of a boy. And you choose. You choose. Do you choose the easy, comfortable life that always acts upon your feelings, though that you act upon them? Or do you go choose the life that's uneasy? It's hard. It's difficult. But there's friction. But there's growth. And I tell you this, when you live a life running towards friction, running towards the hard things, your morals, your principles, your honor is intact as a man. You know when you're choosing the hard thing, you ain't gonna accept this for your life. You know when you're choosing the hard thing, this ain't gonna bother you. You know when you're choosing the hard thing, you're not gonna be doing what the kids do. I mean that. So everything steps and forms into your frame and your masculinity when you start choosing the harder thing to do. When you start choosing, and I say this, the right thing to do. And that's it. You know the right answer. That's the crazy part. You know this. Everything I've said to you isn't new. But you need to now make the decision. Are you going to choose to be a boy? You're going to choose to be a man. It's all your decision. It's all yours. You've got a primal instinct inside of you to become the best version of yourself. That's how we've evolutionized. But this modern world has beaten men down. But it's up to you. So listen to what I had to say, bro. Because it's very important. This is why some boys don't become men. Because you choose the easy option. If you want to do coaching with me, one-on-one, or you want to join a group of young men, all becoming men, then go to the link in the description, brother. Love ya.